Hi, everyone in theater history too. Um, I know this wasn't really required, but I watched Cody LaCrone's video about Cloud9, and I was just really jazzed and enthused about everything I disagree with him about. And so I was inspired to go ahead and record a video reply to that video because I love this play first of all, and so I feel like I could talk about it for hours. Like if I had time, I would read it two, three, four more times, and just like oh my goodness, it was awesome. Um, but first of all, yeah, it's a weird play. Um, the author is Caryl Churchill, and really, this is pretty coherent for her. She writes some really weird stuff, and this is probably one of, at least out of the plays that I've read of hers, it makes the most sense. So if you thought this was weird, maybe you're not gonna like anything else she wrote. We'll see what Far Away does for you. Um, let's see, I'm gonna try to reply to the things that Cody talked about, since this is a response to him. But the time change thing. Um, I didn't actually look at what the time change was before I read it, and so it was quite a surprise for me as well when I got to Act 2 and I'm like, wait, this is totally a different place. But after I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this totally makes sense. And you kind of have to let your mind wrap around it a little bit that it starts with their lives as they were in 1880, and then for us, we have to consider what society was like in 1980, but and they are there, but in their lives it's only past 25 years. So they're not like crazy zombie people or anything. Um, but it's not a discrepancy, it has a purpose. And you just kind of have to think about it a little bit. Um, I love the whole gender swap thing. And I think Edward was probably the best example of that, especially at the beginning where they're sort of introducing themselves. And he's like, my daddy wants me to be a man, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. Because obviously he's played by a woman. And so he is girly and likes dolls. Um, which is totally a stereotype, which is what this whole play is making fun of, is I'll get to that later. Okay. Victoria as the dummy. And I kind of had to think about that a little as well, and I wasn't sure how I felt about her actually becoming a person in the second act when she wasn't in the first. But what I think her purpose was in the first act was not necessarily to be a person, but to be sort of a model, an object to show sort of who is the caretaker and how this family interacted with what the women's work was. And like, so who's supposed to be taking care of the kid right now? It's not my job, you take it, you know? And you said something about the dummy Victoria having potential, and I kind of want to hear more about that. I want to know what else you would do with that, because um, I feel like maybe they could have used her more too. But yeah, get back to me. Um, the songs, yeah, I didn't really get their purpose. I'm sure that there's something about that, but I don't know what it is. I'm glad that you found something that you kind of liked about it. Um, the part about trying too hard to fit too many subjects in, um, you can't really like, take all of those things away from each other. Sexuality and power and all of that stuff is intertwined, and they affect each other. And so I wouldn't say that there's too much going on. I would say that this play has everything. It has all of these things and how they interact with each other. And that's totally awesome. But la 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 la. You said something about being confused about people switching their sexuality so often, and I totally think that that is not the case. It is not a change, but just seeing different aspects of the person's personality and their sexuality in that. Um, People are so stuck up in labels and binaries, and like they either have to be gay or they have to be straight or they have to like children or they have to like adults, and um, it's not like that. People are weird. People are not consistent, and they can like all of these things, or they can be just trying something and deciding whether or not they actually want to pursue um, that category of people. Um, this play is kind of a sexuality free for all, and it's sort of like life in that way. Uh, the point of this show is sexuality, and I don't think that it was grotesquely exaggerated and that there was too much of that, because like life is inconsistent. Life is full of exploring different options and choices that totally contradict each other. And it doesn't always come to a neat conclusion at the end where all of the characters have grown and changed and learned something. If you want that, watch a musical. I'm partially kidding, but at the same time, I'm not. Um, but Caryl Churchill is definitely not someone who's going to give you that ever. Um, and sort of on that same note, and kind of to wrap this up, there was humor in it, and it was great. And I think that if you can take this whole play as sort of a lighthearted thing, that's how it's supposed to be, because it's humor that is used to deliver the message and make you think about what people think about sexuality and the power that works within that, and in the different time periods, even how that impacts power and whatnot. And it's supposed to make you think, and it's supposed to make you uncomfortable and confused. And if that happened to you, which it seems to, then I totally think that Caryl Churchill did her job. And I like that kind of thing, which is why I love this play. And I absolutely hated Buried Child, so I'm glad that it has a fan in you. So I think I replied to about everything you said, even if it didn't necessarily match up exactly. But yeah, hopefully we can continue this discussion in class or something, because I'm totally excited about this play and I will defend it to the death, even if I don't actually know what I'm talking about and everything I'm saying is wrong. Um, I will see you guys later. Bye.